Hi, this is Adam Schefter from ESPN. Please join us on the latest Know Them From Adam podcast with Dwight Howard as he talks about Kobe Bryant, James Harden, and the one young NBA player he'd pay to see.
Attention.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show.
Stugotz listens very poorly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure he was listening right there.
I wasn't. Dan Le Batard.
You're a record-setting liar.
Stugotz.
It's a heady play.
This is the real bass.
Kind of getting tired of people getting mad at me, right?
I mean,
you've been around me for 14 years.
Stop doing this. I mean,
how about just accept me for what I am, man?
For what you are.
Whatever.
Bass is pumping.
I'm to work every day. Do the best that I can, man. I'm here. I'm on time. I do the best that I can with the tools that have been given to me, which aren't plentiful. Speaking is certainly not a tool. Pronunciation, not a tool. Retention, certainly not a tool. Memory, short-term, long-term, just, nope, not a tool. Intelligence, not a tool. But I come here, man.
That really is your strength. Your strength is you come here and I sit down.
I come here and sit down. That's all I got in the belt, man. Yep. I can take a punch, and that's it. Those are my tools, man. That's all I got.
I can take a punch and I come here, man.
I come here, man, is, I mean, that he does. There's no disputing that. And it's one of his greatest strengths.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
But I come here, man.
Why don't you let me go?
Pablo Torre wrote an interesting piece for ESPN, the magazine, LeBron the Sequel. LeBron James' first act, becoming one of the greatest basketball players in history, is all but settled as a success. His second act, to become a global entertainment icon, is just beginning. We'll talk to Pablo about that in 1 hour. Stugotz is looking through the paperwork here that reveals that article. It's 18 pages long. He has no time for this. He was holding it in a way that suggested it was very heavy, that the paper itself that it's printed on is very heavy. And so he doesn't really want to read it. He'll just talk to Pablo about it, not listen very much, not understand some of the fancy words, and probably and just threw the article in the trash.
I'll take your lead, man.
Okay. So we will talk to Pablo about that in 1 hour because I thought it was an interesting article. You know how fascinated I am in general by the idea that this guy is empowering his friends, that there's a power structure in basketball of Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, older white people, and that LeBron James is wrestling away some of that power for younger black people, and it becomes uncomfortable in a way that we all see. And LeBron James is very much finding his adult voice. And he's baring his teeth more than we've ever seen. And one of the things that he did, you saw where he did this casually? These are not things that he used to do. It's really interesting to watch. Never mind fighting in public with Phil Jackson or ripping Charles Barkley. But you see where Kevin Love went out and he just said, if I'm in the lineup, we have a chance.
Yep.
He never used to do things like that.
He didn't, and he's right.
Of course he's right.
Yep.
But he used to disguise it, I guess, for our comfort. I guess the same way Michael Jordan disguised all of that his entire career because we don't like arrogance so much. It's one of the great crimes in sports.
Do you think it's our comfort, though? Or do you think he's just at a place where, if he says it before he wins any of the championships, there's going to be blowback that maybe he doesn't want to deal with? Now you can't. There's really no holes to poke in LeBron's game anymore. He's won 2 titles in Miami. He's won 1 in Cleveland. He has 3 championships. He makes the finals every year. You can't really question his greatness anymore.
Well, what I would say is it's a combination of things. It's a combination of his comfort because of the things that you said and his comfort lending itself to not giving one solitary bleep about our discomfort.
Right.
And that's just simply something. I always used to like that. I used to like when Kobe Bryant and Andrew Bynum were going back and forth that Kobe Bryant would say publicly, everyone on this team and everyone on this planet knows Big Dog eats first, meaning himself, not Bynum. And that's something that Kobe grew into with success, with age. That's not who Kobe was. See, What Kobe was early in his career was just trying to mimic the path that Michael Jordan blazed. And so he looked like it was, what was that movie? Single White Female? It was Married Black Male. He was, or Adulterous Black Male. He was adulterous. We've talked about that before. Kobe Bryant put a mid-level exception on his wife's fingers for forgiveness. But Kobe Bryant was trying to mimic all things Michael Jordan in public and then stopped caring. And then it was curse words and it was things like that. It came after the championships, after the success, after he was secure with what his legacy was. But this article is interesting because LeBron James just getting started on what it is he actually wants to become. Because he told us a long time ago he wanted to be the first billionaire athlete.
Yep.
Told us that a long time ago, and now he's going into Hollywood producing that show on Starz, Survivor's Remorse. He's an executive producer. He's starring in films. He's got that Plinko ripoff game that's a game show that he's producing. That all he's doing is that he's doing those terrible Sprite commercials. They're bad Sprite commercials.
They are pretty bad.
Woo!
The game's bad, too, man.
Put it up on the poll, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. LeBron Sprite commercial. Awful or worse than that?
The Twitter poll is brought to you by Upside. Now say big on travel and get a big gift card every trip you buy. You'll love Upside.com. That's Upside.com.
Do you guys find this interesting or no? LeBron James, businessman.
Yeah, I find it interesting. I do.
Yeah.
It's early in the morning for this,
man. No, it's not just that. It's just, he left us, so like I kind of don't like him.
Well, but you don't find him interesting? Can you not like somebody?
I used to find him really interesting.
Hold on a second. Can you not dislike someone and still find them interesting?
I mean, look what's going on in America right now. I mean, you can say a lot of things, but that dude's interesting right now at the top office.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how Anderson Cooper answered that question earlier this week when I asked him, fill in the blank, Donald Trump, blank, interesting. That's what he went with. There is no disputing it's interesting, and there's no disputing that many people dislike him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be that, of course. As Mike just said with the current president, and I don't like LeBron James at all, but I'm interested in whether or not he can become a Hollywood mogul, of course.
Yeah, there's something to be said for it. I guess I'm like most sports fans. I liked it when I was heaping that praise upon him, and he wasn't doing it upon himself. And when he comes out and says, like, I'm the commander, we got a chance every night, like I start liking him less. I don't like how that makes me feel, but I do.
Oh yeah, because he's rubbing it in your face now. But that's what I'm talking about. When that's on your side, you love it. When it's not on your side, you dislike it. But he doesn't care anymore. He used to care. But he's won in every way. LeBron James has won in every way. It's not just the winning on the court. It's that he went from famous to infamous to more famous. He went from liked to disliked to more liked. He went from not respected to more respected.
But I guess what I'm saying is, you're right. All the things you just said are absolutely correct. But he could have said that at any point in his career. As long as I'm on the court, we have a chance.
Oh, but he would have never said it before now.
Right now, but now he's comfortable saying it.
Well,
he doesn't care what you think, and he's validated.
Because everything after this is gravy. Everything. He's accomplished. He has arrived. Now, he'll keep trying, and he'll try to win more. But he has arrived at the destination for success. 3 championships, 1 for Cleveland. That's a finish line.
Yes.
And so now the other career begins where he could parlay all of this into real power that empowers his people. And I'm not talking about just his guys or the people that Phil Jackson dismisses as posse. I'm talking about black people, his people. He is going to have the power now. That Survivor's Remorse is a black show. That is a show. I don't even know. Do they have any white actors on that show? Are the white actors just the agents? Like now he's in a place where he can move. He can do with the basketball power things in business that are legitimately powerful. The same way Eddie Murphy, when he would make a movie, was so tired of Hollywood that he just hired all black people, not just as actors, to do all of the, to do all of the jobs. And I find that fascinating, but it looks like the shipping container filled with frightened refugees finds that boring.
There's a white coach in the show, Lenny Clark.
Only 2 episodes, though.
Man, we can't even get any black coaches on Survivor's Remorse? That's wrong. It's racist.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Now you can test drive Snapshot to see how much you could save before switching to Progressive. Visit progressive.com/snapshot.
How about the writers on that show? Do we know how much of the, and he's just getting started with this stuff. The writers on that show, like it bears, because the writing on that show is good. Whether you like that show or not, the writing's good.
Michael Malley's a lead writer on that show. Michael Malley.
Do you have it?
Yeah, he was the host of Guts on Nickelodeon.
Yep.
Do you have it? Guts!
Rejoin.
He's white, if that's what you were asking. Here's your SportsCenter update. Carmelo Anthony will replace Kevin Love in the NBA All-Star game.
He's really white.
Oh, he couldn't be whiter.
Remember the aggro? Craig?
Oh, the aggro.
I wanted a piece for my room so bad.
I wanted to compete. They need to reopen Guts so I can do that course.
2000.
Global Guts.
Oh, man.
Carmelo Anthony will replace Kevin Love in the NBA All-Star game. Love will be out 6 weeks with a knee injury. Draymond Green says that Knicks owner James Dolan operates his team with a slave master mentality. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
It is Dan and Stu from the Clevelander in South Beach on ESPN Radio. Dan Le Batard.
Do you have it? Guts!
Stugotz.
Do you have it? Guts!
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Catch me and Mike Golick Jr. every Sunday for weekend observations from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. The Dan Le Batard Show is brought to you by Upside. Now save big on travel and get a big gift card every trip you buy. You'll love Upside.com. That's Upside.com.
Have you seen what's making its way like a lit fuse through our media? And I don't like it so much, Stugotz, as I see it happen. Draymond Green, what Draymond Green had to say about James Dolan. Let's play that sound because I see it all over the televisions here. Draymond Green is a good content producer for us because he has no filter. He will say whatever he wants. He does not mind being the villain, being unpopular. Doesn't seem to care at all. I really like him for that reason, but I don't like some of the things he said, and this one felt gratuitous. Let's hear it.
This is Charles Oakley. Why is he buying a ticket to the game? If I'm not mistaken, Dolan's was owning that team when he was playing. It wasn't a problem when he was speaking out then. It wasn't a problem when he was protecting their superstars then. And so if it wasn't a problem then when he were doing it for y'all, why is it all of a sudden a problem now when he speak out on something that he don't like? And now you want to disown him from your entire organization. That's a slave mentality. You doing it for me, it's all good. But now you're doing it against me, or not necessarily against me, but you're speaking out against my organization. It's not good anymore. That's a slave mentality, slave master mentality. That's ridiculous. It was all fine and dandy when he was laying people out, taking fines,
Jordan, right?
Taking fines and all this stuff for your organization. But now all of a sudden when he says something that he feels, it's a problem. I disagree with that. I definitely think, like I said, that that's a slave master mentality.
Just too strong. Just hyperbolic in a way. You can agree with everything that he said, and then he will lose you the moment that he throws slave and slave master in there, even as you agree with everything else that he said.
For starters, and there's obviously much deeper and bigger issues with what he said, but for starters, James Dolan did not own the Knicks. Like, if you're going to say that, James Dolan did not own the Knicks when Charles Oakley was playing.
I think you can't be reckless. You've got to be really careful, I feel like, when throwing that around as a public figure. And I think the body of what he said, what's amazing to me is that phrase is so strong that you lose people even if they agree with everything you said before that. And then all of a sudden we get to feed on it in the media because everyone's talking about this today. And even as I'm inclined to almost always side with Draymond Green's viewpoints on things, because we'd all agree with his perspective, right? The perspective before he throws Slave Master out there, the Slave Master's like, come on, man. Like that, we didn't need that here.
Right. And it's the second time that he's gone down that path in the last week. He did it with KD's return to Oklahoma City and how the fans treated him. And he just did it again with James Dolan.
But one of the reasons I find this interesting is because I do believe that in discussing some of this stuff, the collateral damage has to be the discomfort of white people. Like, there is no way to discuss some of these things with white people being totally comfortable with it.
Correct.
But when you go so many exit ramps beyond normal discourse and arrive at slave master, even though, like, it is kind of the mentality of a slave master. It's fine if you're working for me. You can't work with somebody else. It's just so hyperbolic that you lose people. It's like, you just lose people and almost immediately. And then it becomes an argument about something else, because then we start talking. To me, this is like a mistake of Race Talk 101, because now the conversation becomes about something else, even though we agreed on the original premise of what Draymond is saying.
But you have a platform, and people are interested in you and interested in what you have to say. And I think that's the case for Draymond Green. He has a platform. That's his own podcast, I believe. And
I love that he has a platform. I love that platform. Isn't that platform LeBron James's, Mike? Isn't that the uninterrupted?
Yeah, I think it is. But, Dan, if you have that platform and you're a smart guy, and I believe Draymond to be smart, and you're interesting, and I think he's interesting, you want to make people think. You want to have a discussion. And what you do, as you pointed out, is when you go down that path, you lose a lot of people. You do. Yeah. You lose a lot of people. They stop thinking about it anymore.
I don't know if Draymond Green has to concern himself with that.
Well, maybe he doesn't.
But all I'm saying is, this is where it becomes complicated, right? Because all of the opinions Draymond Green just expressed, all of them, I think most of us would agree until he gets to Slave Master. But all of those opinions that make for easy agreement, there's no way they're on all my televisions in here. Everything that he just said, the only reason it's on all my televisions in here is because he lobbed the grenade of slave master mentality in here. It's the only reason it gets our attention. That's what I'm talking about, where sometimes you have to make white people uncomfortable, even if it's with hyperbole.
But is it a productive discussion that we're having? Because we're discussing whether or not he went too far.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think that. I think that's where it all gets muddled, and then we just start arguing about Draymond Green. We argue about phrasing. We argue about, then it becomes, Draymond, you make millions of dollars.
Right.
That's not what slavery looks like. And it just becomes a different conversation that's not germane to the original one we were having.
It's not the discussion. I don't think it's not the discussion he was intending for us to have, right? Just because of word choice.
But I think you need sometimes people who are heavy-handed with this stuff. Because we're all in this transaction together. What I just said is not irrelevant. Draymond Green could make all the exact same points without Slave Master, and nobody would have heard them, or only people listening to his podcast. It certainly wouldn't have gotten the play that it's getting all over my televisions right now as the media feeds, because they need something to consume on Thursday. And what else are we going to talk about?
Here comes the money.
Two can become one with the right connection. Our audience has done a great job by Match.com, and Match is for making connections, connecting two people together to become one. Let Match do that for you. Tell them more, Stugotz.
If you are single and not dating on Match, then listen up. You're making a big mistake. Match is not only number one in first dates, but second dates, too. In fact, they've surveyed over 5,000 U.S. singles to get the top tips and advice when it comes to dating in 2017. Want to impress a first date? Put your phone away. 45% of singles would be turned on if you visibly turned off your phone during a date. Now we're going to hook you up. For our listeners, go to Match.com/Dan for 7 days free. That's 7 days completely free to search and connect for our listeners. This free offer is only found at Match.com/Dan. That's Match.com/Dan.
Stay tuned. More Dan and Stugotz on ESPN Radio. Dan Le Batard.
Warren Moon with us on ESPN Radio. Tell us, as someone who cares about Washington, who knows some of the Sarkisian story, who has had some of his own fight with alcohol, what did you make when USC decided we're going to hire Sarkisian?
Stugotz.
Wait a minute. What fight did I have with alcohol?
Well,
I've never had a problem with alcohol.
We had talked to you about. We have talked to you before about a DUI.
Oh, yeah, that's not a problem, though. That was just one night you had a couple, and I wasn't even over the limit, but we don't even need to get into that.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. The Dan Le Batard Show is brought to you by Pennzoil Synthetics, taking synthetic motor oil performance to a whole new level. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Carmelo Anthony will replace Kevin Love in the NBA All-Star Game. Love will be out 6 weeks with a knee injury. Draymond Green says that the Knicks owner, James Dolan, operates his team with a slave master mentality. And finally, NASA has announced the winner of its Space Poop Challenge. NASA crowdsourced a solution to the perils of pooping in space, and more than 5,000 proposed solutions were entered. The winning design features a tiny airlock in the suit's crotch, through which items such as catheters and inflatable bedpans can be passed through. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Texter writes in, is Stugotz shooting free throws today or what? Need to plan my day accordingly. Yes. After the show today, despite a toothache, despite coming in flip-flops, despite a sore elbow, Stugotz will go out to the Miami Heat's practice facility. The Miami Heat have tweeted out that this is a done deal. He will go out and shoot free throws, and he will try to go above league average because he's delusional and he's got Dunning-Kruger effect. I might have gotten another name wrong.
You owe some money. It's Cronin-Duger. And if I correct you, I think it goes straight to my pocket.
I don't think you got it right either, though. What if you correct me incorrectly?
Well, then you still owe the money. It just doesn't go in my pocket.
Well, what do you owe, though, if you correct me?
It would go to you. It doesn't go to you. And you were wrong.
Because
Dunning-Kruger. It's Dunning-Kruger.
Dunning-Kruger. Fine. There has to be some shame and embarrassment if I correct you on anything, like English, grammar, any of that stuff. Okay, so I was wrong. So the money just goes there, not in my pocket.
All right, look up the definition of Dunning-Kruger so people understand what it is that we're talking about, because Stugotz, we believe we have clinically diagnosed him with this. I want the formal medical definition of what this disorder is, because we believe Stugotz to have it, and we are going to shame him publicly by having him shoot 100 free throws today, and he thinks he can make above league average 78%.
All right, so I have to make 78 out of 100. If I lose, well, I really don't lose because it's shame. I'll be shamed, and I laugh at shame. And if I win, if I get 78 or more, we're changing the name of the show for a month?
Yes.
Okay.
The Stugotz Show.
All right.
Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which a low-ability individual suffers from illusory superiority, mistakenly assessing their ability as much higher than it actually is.
Yep, he's got it. We should rename it the Stugotz effect. Get those two guys out of here. Kruger and Dunning. Get them out of here. Replace them with Stugotz. But he will do this at 1 p.m. Eastern, Facebook Live. He is going out to the facility, maybe 1:30 Eastern. Give him some time to drive over there. Mm-hmm. He's going to run some sprints every 10 free throws, and that's going to happen. And I believe he's going to make under 50 of them.
All right, I'm going to go over 50, definitely. I'm confident in that.
Well, can we have actual stakes? Because I wanted to just get you
78. Stop lowering expectations. You were brazen.
Listen, it depends on, my tooth hurts. Listen, I'm a shooter, man, and everything needs to be right for a shooter. And if everything's right, I'll do 78. And if the slightest thing is off, and today it's my tooth, because the pain is just shooting right, it's down my neck and up my head, then I can't predict whether or not I'll get the 78, but I'll get 50. I get 50 with my eyes closed.
And also, we added the stipulation that we don't start counting until you finally make one.
That's right. That's stipulation because you wanted to catch a groove. So we're not counting until you're 1 for 1. You force that out of us during the local hour.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to do. Can we do this? Because I've eliminated all the consequences except shame, which Stugotz says he laughs at. Because this isn't a bet that has any consequences for him other than shame, which Stugotz says he laughs at. Let's do this. There are no consequences other than shame if you get under 78. But let's come up right now with consequences if he goes under 50, which I believe he's going to.
Oh, no.
Because, no. You've done this. Eyes closed. Because some of this is to knock out some of your junk-talking yammering.
I need to focus on the main event today, okay? I don't need any other thing. A shooter doesn't need other thoughts in his head. A shooter just needs to focus on a couple of things. The front of the rim, the net. Mike, that's it.
Brainstorm back there for the next 5 minutes, please, amongst yourselves. Come up with a consequence that I will agree to on his behalf if he makes fewer than 50.
Can we do this as a separate event? I don't want the thought of 50 in my head. I'm going for 78 today.
You already said, Stugotz, you just said a second ago that you could do this with your eyes closed. You could do 50 with your eyes closed. If he goes under 50, come up with a consequence for him.
I mean, you're going for 78. 50 should be no problem.
Right? I mean, look at you. You are the worst,
I don't want to have consequences in my head. Like, I am feeling good about this because the only consequence I have is shame today, and that's it.
Okay.
I don't want to think about challenges
We're
or things I
trying
have
to
to
simulate
eat
game conditions. You would call someone who misses free throws a choker if the pressure was ratcheted up to a place. So we're trying to simulate game conditions. Here is something that might make you choke.
You want to eat some tripe?
No.
That was pretty awful.
Nope.
Let's figure this out because I want to agree to terms. 1 o'clock, 1:30 Eastern, Facebook Live. We'll have, you can follow it on our Twitter account at Le Batard Show. Texter writes in here based on this Draymond Green conversation. And man, you are so bad at discussing race, Texter. And you are so bad at listening. And you are so bad at being self-aware. And you're so bad at mirrors. And you are so bad at smart. You're so bad at nuance. This guy writes in, slaves didn't get paid millions of dollars. Nothing that moron Draymond Green said is agreeable. According to you and Draymond Green's idiot logic, anytime a white and black person disagree, there are racist undertones. He's an idiot and you're an idiot for saying that anything he said isn't complete and utter race-baiting BS. Man, there's one idiot here, Texter. You will go to your bathroom and find him in your mirror because you don't understand. I discussed that so delicately.
You did.
And I discussed that without even taking much of a stance. You want me to come down on Draymond Green. I didn't take much of a stance on this, but you don't realize what your biases are. I would like for you to never text the show again. I'm going to do George Lopez right now. Get out. Your choices are to laugh or get the bleep out. You either laugh or get out. Where's the angry mom behind me? I need the angry mom behind me so that I can be George Lopez. You get out of here, 443 Texter. Yeah. Take a walk. Your punishment is time out in the mirror staring at a real idiot.
Come on, here's. Got him, George.
Come on, George.
Hold your kid.
Get some more, George.
Got down to the voice. Yeah. You have your wife's kidney. Hey!
You have your wife's kidney. That's a good heckle, kid.
That's right.
All right, so I have a couple of things that Stugotz can do. What's that, Mike? If he goes under 50.
Man.
All right, he can have a hissing cockroach crawl on his face.
Nope.
All right, wait, how many choices do you have?
I have four.
All right, you got to pick one of these.
I have to pick one of these 4?
That or we put it to a poll.
Oh, wow.
We're not putting anything to a poll, and the first one's not happening.
You better big one.
The first one. Well, you know what? This bet is about 78. It's not about 50.
I know, but you just said you could do it with your eyes closed. We will allow you to keep your eyes open.
I'll do a separate bet where I actually do it with my eyes closed at a later date.
You have to get 50 before 78.
No.
It's the same bet. All right, so
What if I do get 50? What if I do get 50? There's
nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
You need to get 78.
What a dope, man.
Bad at math.
Okay.
He said yesterday he wanted the punishments to be scaled.
I know he did say that yesterday. You are unbelievable. You can't.
We agreed to terms already.
You know what he does? This is what he does.
Tooth.
You know the Aaron Rodgers play at the end of the Dallas game where it was just everyone run to the left side, somebody get open. Aaron Rodgers told us it wasn't an actual play call. It was just him doing that. He had never done that before. It's flooding a zone. Stugotz floods a zone with lies so that we can't keep track of them all, and some of them get open in coverage. Like, he just floods the zone with I've got a toothache, my elbow hurts. You said yesterday you were willing for degrees of shame, and I'm only doing it on one, below 50. You choose from among these, or the audience is going to choose. You choose from among these 4.
Number 1, hissing cockroach crawls all over your face.
Easy.
Number 2, you replicate the Beyonce pregnancy photo.
Keep going.
Number 3, you dress up like CeeLo did at the Grammys.
Oh.
And number 4, you do a week's worth of shows dressed as Paul Feinbaum. That means you have to shave a horseshoe in your head and wear the glasses.
Wow. I might do that, actually.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, because then I just go bald at the end of the week. Like
a week of the horseshoe.
All right, you're choosing one right now. If you get under 50.
I will choose one of those 4. Do I have to choose right now?
Yes.
I want to think this out a little bit.
Stugotz?
I want to do what's best for myself.
You are a staller, a procrastinator. You don't finish anything. We have had to. This is like, man, it's like trying to have sex with a damn rattlesnake. It's just impossible to pin him down right now.
Why do you know what that's like?
Why do I know what that's like?
That one of the options.
Stugotz wants a new boat. Time for some more ads.
Ads. My father said ads there. You guys have never tried that? I feel like Anderson Cooper earlier this week where he's saying, what do you mean? You guys don't all feel like everyone's thinking you're shoplifting while you're shopping? Doesn't everyone feel that? Pick one.
I'm going to.
No, pick one now before the end of this segment.
Now, if I hit over 50, do you have to do it?
No.
Oh, I'm confused.
Ow. Pick one. Pick one, Stugotz. I want to get the time in right here.
All right.
Upside. Flights can be expensive. Multiple flights because you have to attend. I'm going to pick one for you if you don't do it in a minute. I'm going to pick one for you.
You're not picking the first one.
I am going to pick one for you if you don't do it by the end of this. I'm going to pick one for you.
Can I get like the fake hair on the side so I can just shave my head
No,
bald?
you shave a horseshoe.
Flights can be expensive. Multiple flights because you have to attend business meetings can be costly. That's why there's upside. It'll save you money on flights and hotels. Tell them more, Stugotz. You have 30 seconds or I'm going to pick it for you. Go ahead. Read the rest of this upside ad.
Elbow's starting to hurt a little bit. Discover the best new way for you to buy travel. It's called Upside.com. CeeLo was an option there?
CeeLo from the Grammys.
And what was the second option?
Beyonce's pregnancy
not happening,
photo.
so it's CeeLo or Feinbaum. I'll tell you by the end of this spot. Here's why you'll love it, but I have to walk around all week as Feinbaum.
Feinbaum.
Yes, that's
Wear
pretty
a hat.
funny. That's the funniest one. That is the funniest one.
Every time you buy a trip at Upside, you save a ton of money, and they give you an Amazon gift card worth $1, $2, even $300 every single time. Upside bundles your flight and hotel together for one low price. Bundle pricing saves money, especially on business travel. If you are a frequent business traveler, your company saves a ton of money, and you can get thousands a year just for buying your air and hotel together at Upside. Plus, you'll get all your miles. It takes just 3 minutes to see how much you could save by buying your flights and hotel together for one low price. And check out what we've arranged for you. Use the name Dan, and you are guaranteed to get at least a $200 Amazon gift card on your very first trip. The name Dan gets you at least a $200 Amazon gift card for free. How can you not do it? No brainer, guys. Save big on travel and get a big gift card every trip you buy. You'll love Upside.com. And if I shoot less than 50 today, if I connect on less than 50, you'll love seeing me dressed up as Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah! Yeah! He picked the worst one!
Hey, buddy, you're listening to the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort Jeans, designed to keep up with you no matter what you're doing. Wrangler, be comfortable.
Dan Le Batard.
If it's 3% on $100 million, that's $300,000. On 120, it's $360.
Stugotz.
3% of 100 million is 3 million, Stugotz.
Oh, my bad.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show, if you're via the Shell Pennzoil Florence line, get in touch with the show anytime through the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed, at Le Batard Show, at Stugotz790. You know what's always in season? Surprising a friend or loved one with a bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers has amazing offers on bouquets starting at just $29.99. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN.
Thank you to our listeners. You guys have killed it for 1-800-Flowers, for Match, for Dollar Shave Club. You guys have killed it for our sponsors. Thank you for doing that. That was a shocking development in the last segment because Stugotz picked what I believe to be by far the worst one. By far, the not even close.
Right.
The Beyonce pose would have been easy for you.
My wife was listening, and she said to me, "Who's Paul Feinbaum?" And I told her to Google Paul Feinbaum, and she did, and she responded, "Oh, no."
Yeah, you're going to have for your entire week, when you miss more than 50 free throws, you're going to have the entire week a ridiculous cul-de-sac haircut. And then you're going to go bald, but that's going to be really funny visually. I can't believe you picked that one. Your judgment is so bad.
Right.
So bad.
You're surprised?
That is so much worse. Like, you come in, you dress like CeeLo. I don't even know what your logic was.
My logic was it'd be the best thing for the show to have me as Paul Feinbaum for 5 consecutive days. Your call.
Thank you.
Your call.
You ought to miss, guys. I appreciate that, man.
It is good work.
Regardless, it's not going to happen because he's going to crush it.
That's right. But now you have a reason to watch. Facebook Live after 1 p.m. today. Our Twitter account, Stugotz, is going to do this free throw challenge, and he's going to be worse than DeAndre Jordan, I believe. A texter writes in, you talking about working with your dad made me go spend time with mine. Thank you. Very poor reading by me. I was thinking about, did you guys ever hear that show? I forget the name of it. I think it was on early Sunday morning, ESPN radio, like a positive sports show. A sports show. I always remember like a raging night out. I'd come in at like 4 a.m, and I didn't want to hear that crud. This positive sports show where they just talked about the nice things in sports. And it was real light, and the guy talked in this voice, and it felt like spa music. What the hell was the name of that show? But I was actually thinking of all of us calling our fathers on the air and just doing some positive segment where we thank them for being our fathers. And we only hear part of the conversation. We don't hear the dads. I was thinking about doing that. Should we do that? Or should we just make fun of Allison? Let's just make fun of Allison. Pablo Torre going to join us in 10 minutes to talk about this LeBron article. Allison, what happened with you? And come to the air real quick, please.
Billy is the worst.
What happened with you and Kendrick Lamar's publicist? What happened?
Accidentally added him to an email that went to people in sales and just, I the email and, I made a mistake.
So now Kendrick Lamar's publicist is getting all of our ESPN Radio's sales information?
I mean, not completely, just a little bit.
Man.
I mean, They have similar names.
Who does?
The publicist and my boss.
So how have you explained this?
I just said it's the wrong Ray. Please stop replying all.
I'm sorry, Kendrick Lamar's publicist. Pablo Torre joins us. The LeBron article's interesting. He's next.
It's Papi. You're listening to the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I'm Andy Katz from ESPN, along with my co-host Rick Klein of ABC News. On the latest edition of Capital Games, we're going to be joined by North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper to discuss HB2. We're also going to dissect the new Nike ad called Equality.
Garth Davis, the director of Line.
The story was just so powerful, people connected with it.
Viggo Mortensen.
It's one of those movies that when it finishes, you go, now what's going to happen?
The Oscars are coming, and Cinephile will be there. Get all the details at Cinephile, the Adnan Virk movie podcast. Available now on the ESPN app and iTunes. The NBA All-Star Game this Sunday.
Here's Curry behind the back, half-court heave on its way, and he hits it!
Coverage begins Sunday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.